Welcome to What'd You Think?
The show where...
Who cares? I want to talk about this movie.
So, what'd we see?
We saw the very first show, 10 minutes after because it was the 3D, but it was the very first showing of Spider-Man Homecoming, the new Marvel movie. Spider-Man is back with Marvel. Sony's no longer in charge of it, and all the better for it.
Yes. So we saw it in 3D.
Yeah, because that was the, least populated.
They said it wasn't as busy, and it wasn't. There was hardly anybody there.
No, there was. It was half full. It was half full, but there were lines when we came out.
But for opening night, I expected it to be
Well, she told us
packed.
that 3D, just people are still have trouble. Who
Doesn't
cares?
matter.
It doesn't matter. See it however you can. See it as quick as you can. Because from the very first moment, the opening credits.
Yes, I got chills during
The
opening
chills.
credits.
It was unbelievable.
Because it was like, Spider-Man's coming home!
It's true.
Where he belongs!
And Marvel has just this way of just sticking it.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's shaking a little bit. Marvel just has this way of sticking it to the DC universe. They have a way of now sticking it to Sony, saying, see, we're going to do this better.
Yeah, right.
Because the Marvel opening sequence with...
Which is always so impressive anyway with the script Marvel and the comic book things flipping through.
Right.
It's
right,
always really cool anyway.
Right. But the fact is, at the very beginning, they open with the Sony logo, they open with all this other stuff, and then when the Marvel logo starts, it's the classic Spider-Man music, updated with the new orchestra and everything, and it is just
It was really cool.
incredible. It's gonna fall. It's too bouncy. Anyway, maybe I'll just sit taller. And don't ignore the chins.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we can kind of give it away already. What'd you think?
Oh my gosh. It was fantastic.
It was
Loved
by far the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
Oh,
Now,
ever.
I have to be careful here that I don't want to just feel like it's just overexcitement because of what it is.
No, I don't think it is.
But,
It was
I mean,
really
Spider-Man 2, the original Sam Raimi trilogy with Tobey Maguire, that was, in my opinion, the best one.
That's the
Okay.
one with Doc Ock, right?
That was the one with Dr. Octopus, and it was the best one because it had a conflict for Spider-Man, and the villain was just incredible, okay? With the mechanical arms and things like that. Now, in this one, I don't even know where to begin.
I will say, and this was shown in the thing, so we're not to any spoilers yet, I'm so glad it wasn't an origin story.
Right, they left that all out.
I'm so glad that they just jumped right in.
Yeah, we all know it. Who cares? He was bit by a spider. He mentioned it in passing once. I was bit by a spider. Done.
And then there was a bunch of, like, random
Funny
questions
jokes.
about it.
Yeah, random questions, and he just ignored it, and it just moved past it. And it's like, no, we're not going to touch on this right now.
We're not going to talk about that. Everybody already knows how Spider-Man became Spider-Man.
Right. So, the fact... See, I liked the Andrew Garfield ones, the Amazing Spider-Mans. I liked them because I felt like Spider-Man was more quippy and funny and,
Let's be honest, you really like those because you love Emma Stone.
Emma Stone is incredible. I have to say, she's on my laminated list of 5.
Ew.
Just kidding. Anyway, we better concentrate on driving instead of Emma
the
Stone.
Andrew Garfield ones because he was really funny.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire. Okay, he was just
Nerdy.
He wasn't funny. He didn't have the quips. I mean, he was okay. I liked the movies, and they were good, obviously, for what they were when they came out.
He was way nerdier.
He
Tobey
was
Maguire
too
was way
old.
nerdier.
He didn't play the
He
character.
wasn't high school Toby. Like, he wasn't
Right.
high school Spider-Man.
And then
Anyway.
Andrew Garfield did a better job.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he was a little funnier, okay?
Snarky.
But he was whinier.
Yeah.
He was a lot whinier, and I didn't. Emma Stone was incredible, and
We're not talking about that movie.
we're not talking about that movie, but oh gosh. Sorry, it's on a folding thing. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so in this one, he is young. He's novice, and the whole opening scene is just how it ties in with the whole Marvel universe.
Hilarious.
It's just like what a teenager would do.
Hilarious.
It's exactly what a teenager would do, and
Yeah.
I loved every minute
The
of
thing
it.
that I liked about it is the guy who plays him he is very young. He passes for 15 or 16 years old.
He does. Tom Holland, everybody should have seen him in Civil War.
Right.
He was awesome in Civil War.
Right.
But it's just even better knowing how he gets to Germany, what's happening, how he's taking it all in. It's just awesome. And when the whole movie just starts going, the villain, how they tie his motivations in.
Whoa.
Michael Keaton.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
He's such a good bad guy.
Michael Douglas, actually. That's his real name, but he goes by Michael Keaton in the movies because the Actors Guild won't let him double up names. And he goes by Michael Douglas in his entire life, except for movies. Did you know that?
No.
Now
He
you know.
will forever be Michael Keaton.
But anyway, incredible. The Vulture.
He was so creepy.
How they could, all the sounds.
Are we getting into...
No spoilers yet.
All right.
No spoilers.
Just checking because I don't
How do you rank this amongst other Marvel movies? That's tough.
movies.
Yeah, the entire universe. How do you rank it in the entire universe so far?
It's pretty high up there for me.
This camera driving me nuts. Let's try something else.
It's pretty high up there for me.
Like high up, like where Doctor Strange is typically one of your
Doctor
favorites.
Strange is typically one of my favorites.
But you're also
I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
right. You're a Never mind. It might just be better to hold it on this one or something like that.
We're driving my car, so it's a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
Sorry if we make you sick.
Can you rest it? There you go. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay.
We're going to pick up the kids because this was date night. What were we talking about? Oh, Doctor Strange.
Compared to the other Marvel movies, where do you rank it in the other Marvel movies?
I would have to put this one.
I need a list of all of them so I can rank them because my brain can't
I would
recall
put this
them
in
all
the
right now.
similar category as Ant-Man as far as humor.
Because Ant-Man was pretty funny. And there were several instances where I was laughing out loud.
Oh, we would laugh out loud
hilarious.
so much. Stay to the end credits. Funniest end credits scene you'll ever see at the very end.
Multiple people were saying that on the way out.
It
like,
was so
funniest end
funny.
credits ever.
It was so great. I would have to say that Civil War is probably still my favorite. But part of the reason why Civil War was one of my favorites is because of the introduction of Spider-Man and
Right.
Black Panther and the fight and how it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain America, it just so good. It didn't have to be an origin story. And because of all the other movies are more origin stories, it kind of bogs the storylines down.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, you felt like the story was able to just breathe on its own, almost like it was its own sequel,
Right.
but just starting out fresh and new.
What I really liked about it is I feel like instead of it being an origin story of Spider-Man, I felt like it was an Avengers origin story, where it's talking about how Spider-Man will become an Avenger.
And how he's accepted.
And how he's doing it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good, how they had a lot more one-on-one time with Tony Stark.
Right.
To be able to develop
Tony
his
Stark,
superhero ability.
once again, incredible. And to see him act like a dad and
really
more
cool.
more of like an adult rather than the child that he's been. And he was still a child in this.
Oh, yeah,
just still that
completely.
hothead philanthropist playboy type of person. But to just watch his emotions.
I felt like his character is finally starting to understand that he's not going to be doing it forever, and he needs to be
Grooming additional people
to rise up.
Yeah. And since Cap is currently obviously on the run.
Or what do they call him? A war criminal or something?
Oh my gosh, so funny. It's awesome how they say that, and we won't spoil it and whatever.
Well, we might later, but not right now.
But not right now. The villain, his motivations were perfect. I thought how the suit integrated just all the different effects, awesome. His interaction. Now, I will say this is probably the most, outside of the Fast and the Furious movies, the most diverse movie I've probably ever seen. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe that's going a little far, but I feel like the diversity in this was intentional. It's bonus points for all of the Mets gear that was all over the place because it's filmed in Queens. Big props.
Very funny.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Anyway, I did like the diversity. I felt like it was natural. I felt like New York City being the melting pot that it is, it made complete sense. It wasn't all just one grouping of people.
And it wasn't, but I also think it wasn't in your face like we're trying to be diverse. Look at us being diverse. Celebrate us for being diverse. It made sense.
It made sense, which in turn also shows we're being diverse because it's not pigeonholing one or two races into a specific picture. Yep. Everybody was represented, and it was awesome. Aunt May,
hilarious.
Incredible.
I loved it.
Incredible. Everybody in this movie did incredible.
There was not one person that I
except for
thought,
maybe one person was meh, but it doesn't really bother me. Just one of the high school students. I just didn't really. We'll get into that in the spoiler.
Ah, skunk. We didn't hit it.
We didn't hit the skunk, but we just went over it.
It went in between the car.
That would have stunk.
Gosh, I hate you.
Yeah, we should move on to the spoilers now.
Okay, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Because I'm tired of censoring myself.
Spoilers. This is probably my favorite individual. I don't know. Iron Man's. They're all so good. Marvel's so good. Just take over all the movies and just do them all. Marvel, just do them all.
Okay,
Anyway, okay. Go ahead. Spoilers. Spoilers.
So let's first talk about. There's so many. I don't know what to talk about first.
The jokes were so funny.
Yes.
They were on point. Every single joke was on point. I loved.
Let's start with the opening scene. I loved that he was filming the whole thing on his phone.
Yeah, when he gets there to Berlin, he's going, "Oh my gosh, there they are! Look at them! There they are!"
And he puts on his sweatsuit. He's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go. And then Happy's like, "Why don't you have your suit on?" He's like, "What are you talking about?"
He's in the hotel room and everything like that.
My hotel room's so much bigger than I thought.
Yeah, and then Happy comes in. These walls are thin. Just stop it. And then when he's actually, that truck was way over the line. Anyway,
so he's filming the whole thing through little snippets on his phone, like he's filming parts of the Avengers fight, and he goes, and then he sees Ant-Man as a giant. Oh my gosh, that guy's real big now. Hang on, and then he puts his phone down, and you see him swinging across. It's really funny.
So it actually explains why Spider-Man wasn't involved in the entire fight, because he took time to film the fight because he was just so in awe.
So excited.
He set up his phone right before he jumped into action and stole Captain America's shield. He put his phone, propped it up, and he goes,
"Watch this!
Watch this!" And
oh my gosh, it's Cap!
And then he goes, "Hey everyone!" And then that is like, yes, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
And then obviously Victor Toombs, the Vulture, how he is involved with making mass weapons out of all of the cleanup efforts.
The alien cleanup
from the first Avengers movie. And
Very interesting.
8 years ago, and it makes sense. I don't want to skip this. I know I'm going to be skipping around, but that cameo at the end with Pepper Potts. Awesome. She's back. She's still in the universe. They didn't forget about her, unlike Natalie Portman, which they probably will just shove her aside and throw Ragnarok because she's a diva and she wants her content. Anyway. Whatever, doesn't matter. What else? Oh, I didn't really like Liz. I thought she was the worst actor of the bunch. She was just okay.
I didn't hate her.
She dragged it down a little bit.
She needed to be a little bit like she was fine. She was lacking a certain quality other than being pretty.
Yeah.
Like that was the
the character who identifies herself as MJ.
Shocker.
That was a shock. Oh, speaking of shocker.
Yeah, you're skipping over one of the main ones.
Oh my gosh. Now, if you haven't, if you're watching this spoiler section here, out of just on your own risk, this one's a huge one.
Yeah, huge.
This one is huge.
This one might merit another spoiler alert. Like spoiler
alert. Big time.
Huge.
Big time. The twist.
Okay, let's talk about how the Vulture is Liz's dad.
Yeah, and Liz's dad is obviously the girl he brings to prom, and I did
Homecoming.
not. Okay, Homecoming. That makes sense.
Yeah. Liz is the girl that he likes, and he goes to pick her up after after Iron Man took his suit, he misbehaved on the Staten Island ferry, and Iron Man took his suit, and he asked a girl to homecoming, and she said yes, and he went to go pick her up, and the Vulture opened the door. And at first you think that he's like setting him up to die, but then you realize he doesn't know who he is because he doesn't have a suit on, and it's Liz's dad.
You'd think people would see that coming from a mile away.
No!
We didn't see it coming. We knew at least of another couple who didn't see it coming because they were talking about it on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
And blown away. And the interaction between them. Mm-hmm. And, Peter's face.
He's just like...
Just when they're taking pictures, he's just like...
he's sitting there and he's like smiling and he's just like...
His sweats. He's the best Peter Parker. Shoot, I wish I would have said that in the non-spoiler section because he's the best Peter Parker. He's the best Spider-Man. The emotion, the tears, and the cry, like he wasn't whining. He never cried.
Right.
He just teared up, and his eyes were just bloodshot and red and swollen, and he was just tearing up when Tony Stark took the suit from him. You saw that from the trailers. You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. And then the other spoiler. So, Vulture is trying to, like, after the thing got intercepted, Spider-Man intercepted the run, and therefore he couldn't do it, so he was out of money. He's out and done and cannot do this any longer. And then he goes to the guy and says, okay, we're going to do the big one. So they're trying to steal at least one gigantic box from Tony Stark when he's moving everything up
from Happy, they're moving up state New York to the new Avengers facility.
And so he breaks into Tony Stark's plane, and he's trying to steal something, and they end up taking the plane down. And as the Vulture has his wings on, the wings start to explode, and Peter Parker saves his life, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to save you. You know, it was a very similar moment to The Amazing Spider-Man with Gwen Stacy's dad. No, it wasn't really that similar. No. Forget that. The whole suction thing to the bottom of the plane with the camouflage, the Vulture suit is just awesome. It makes Doc Ock's suit just like child's play. Yeah. Just awesome. What else? There was so much I wanted to talk about. There was a lot of action in it. A lot of action. I felt like there was at least 4 big action set pieces, not just 3. They touched on the fact when Spider-Man doesn't have buildings around. Yeah. He can't do anything when there's nothing around. He's just running through a golf course.
Yeah, that was really funny. He shot his web as far as he could on the suggestion of his friend Ned. So just stand out in the middle and shoot it as far as you can. And he did it, but he was in a golf course. So then he ended up just running through the golf course and setting the sprinklers off.
Yep, how they touched on how he says sorry all the time, but they don't know why. The Iron Spider reveal at the end.
That suit was sweet.
The suit was awesome, but then he turned it down because it's just...
He even said, this was a test, right?
So good. Everything.
Like, this is what you wanted me to say.
This movie is... I don't remember all of the movies I've seen this year. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was great. It was phenomenal. This was funnier than that. This was funnier than Guardians of the Galaxy in general. This was... This was Spider-Man. Yeah. Period.
Yep. A little bit nerdy, a little bit funny.
Just like me. Self-proclaimed.
I was going to say, you don't have superpowers.
Self-proclaimed, not verified.
So, anything else?
I landed you. That's a superpower. You're special.
Anything else?
No. I don't know what else to say without making this video longer.
Go see it.
And you need to go see it.
Now.
I mean, we've pretty much spoiled everything for you, but you still need to see it because you think you've seen all of it from the trailers? You haven't.
Nope, not even close.
Not. It's
not even close.
Not even close. And it's amazing how much they packed into this. So, hey. Spider-Man's back, baby.
Spider-Man!
Marvel can just do everything. They could.
Do you love how they called it Spider-Man Homecoming? Because he's coming home.
Yes, that was very cheeky on Marvel's
And
part again.
Also about Homecoming.
Also about Homecoming.
Because the main fight happens on Homecoming.
On Homecoming night, but nowhere near
Right.
the school, which was encouraging.
Yes. They weren't trying to kill any kids.
Right.
All right. Go see it. It
Go
was
see
really
it
good.
immediately.
Okay. Bye.
Why are you still here? Go watch it. Stop watching us. We're nowhere near as good.